Wow, the Donovan Mitchell trade rumors sure are heating up. Let's discuss. What's up, ballers? Welcome back to the bar. My name is Barry. I will be your host today. If you love basketball and you love bars, make sure you smash up that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. We talk about fresh NBA topics almost daily, and we're also live every single Wednesday night for Wednesday night parties, so make sure you guys join in for that as well. All right, let's go ahead and jump in here into the topic of today, and that is Donovan Mitchell. The Utah Jazz have a couple offers that they like an awful lot. We've been hearing about Donovan Mitchell to the New York Knicks for a couple weeks now, and apparently it looks like a couple other teams are now involved as well. Here's a quote here from this article on sportsknock.com. I was told by a source that the Jazz actually have a couple of offers that I was told are from other teams outside of New York, and they like an awful lot. Well, we know that the Utah Jazz broke the Rudy Gobert trade just a few months ago. They got a massive haul for Rudy Gobert. They still have Donovan Mitchell. Whether they decide to trade him or not is still yet to be seen, but they do have a bunch of different options available. We'll dive into that here today. But before we can do that, I figure we might as well look at this roster. So first off, we do have Donovan Mitchell under contract for 4 more seasons. The dude is only 25 years old. He's been playing exceptionally well. The main knocks on him are his size and his defensive ability, but the dude is an absolute baller on defense, and in my opinion, one of the best shooting guards in the entire NBA. But looking at this roster here, outside of Donovan Mitchell, you have a bunch of aging veterans in Mike Conley, Bojan Bogdanovic, Jordan Clarkson, Patrick Beverley, and Rudy Gay. And then you have kind of some younger guys like Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Walker Kessler, just drafted this year. This team is in full rebuild mode if they do end up trading Donovan Mitchell. What they get in this deal is what we're really here to talk about today. So I want to dive into 2 different teams that have actually been pretty adamant about trying to trade for him. The first one is the Charlotte Hornets. Here is a mock trade I made here on NBA Trade Machine, or sorry, the ESPN Trade Machine. Obviously, you're going to need to include multiple first-round picks in any deal to make something happen. But as far as Charlotte goes, I know they want to get rid of Gordon Hayward. Not sure if they're going to be able to get rid of him in acquiring Donovan Mitchell, because I don't see any reason why the Jazz would want him. He does make a lot of money. So if I'm Utah and I'm trading my best player, I'm looking for young players and I'm looking for draft picks to help jumpstart our rebuild. Of course, because of Donovan Mitchell's $30 million a year salary, you are going to have to take some salary back. So in this deal, you are taking back $12 million from Kelly Oubre Jr., who's on the last year of his contract, and you're picking up some young talents in PJ Washington, James Bouknight, Kai Jones, and Jaden McDaniels. And then, like I said, obviously there's going to need to be a couple first-round picks involved in this deal as well. I think this would be a great move by the Jazz if they do decide to move off of him. I'm still not in the camp that he be traded. Like I said, 5 years old. They could do kind of a quick rebuild around him. He is not demanding trade or anything like that. So as far as I'm concerned, Donovan Mitchell is still a part of the Utah Jazz and committed to the team. However, if the team decides to move on from him, this is not a bad deal. You're picking up 4 good young players that were drafted pretty high in the past couple drafts, hopefully a couple draft picks as well. And then Kelly Oubre is a guy that can definitely get buckets. It'd be exciting for Jazz fans to see him and Jordan Clarkson running the show this year. A ton of threes and a lot of offense from those two. So I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. If you are a Hornets fan, or you are a Jazz fan, or just an NBA fan, if you think a deal like this would potentially work for both teams, or if you think that Utah or Charlotte got the better end of the stick here. Another deal we can look at here, another team that's rumored to be interested is the Washington Wizards. We know the Wizards have been all over the news the past few years in Bradley Beal. Well, Bradley Beal just recommitted and signed a contract extension with the Wizards. So I believe he will stay with the team. He is their starting shooting guard, so a lot of people might consider, bringing in a guy like Donovan Mitchell. Not ideal since they do play the same position. However, I feel that Donovan Mitchell could play point guard on this team, or maybe even Bradley Beal switches to the one, and those two could definitely feed off of each other. If Washington is going to make a move for Donovan Mitchell, they're going to have to do a similar thing as the last trade. They're going to have to include a bunch of young players and draft picks, and then a veteran or a guy that makes a little bit more money to make salary work. In this trade, that would be Kyle Kuzma, who's also still pretty young and has had a pretty productive NBA career and a very productive last season with the Washington Wizards. You would also include Rui Hachimura, Denny Advia, Corey Kispert, and Vernon Carey Jr., 4 young guys that were drafted just in the past few seasons and do have a lot of upside. Like I said, with the other trade, you're going to need to include some first-round draft picks to make this work for Utah. But these seem like 2 viable trade options if you are the Jazz and you are hitting the reset button. You're bringing in 4 young guys, multiple draft picks, and I think this does help jumpstart your rebuild. So 2 interesting trade options here. I want to hear from you guys all down below in the comments what you think the Utah Jazz should do. Should they hold on to an amazing player in Donovan Mitchell, or should they just hit the rebuild button, trade him to one of these teams, add some young draft picks, add some young players, and start their rebuild process now? We know they got a ton in the Rudy Gobert deal, so adding these 2 deals together could be a very, very fast rebuild for Utah. Another potential option would be bringing in a guy like Kevin Durant. Since they do have all these additional draft picks that they got in the Gobert trade, maybe they could work a Donovan Mitchell and multiple picks and some young players for Kevin Durant. I don't think this is the right option for Utah, but it is a possibility. So I want to hear from you all down below. Let me know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, we do lives every single Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you guys join us for that. Thank you all for watching. In the next video.